We should be there. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking like it. Okay. So, Hypno, you'll probably be watching this, so thanks again for sending me the VODs. I've brought along a good friend, Scout, who is a pretty highly related support player. Although he'd probably say is washed now, but
very washed.
Still very solid. Yeah, so Aaron, we have two maps, Kingsrow and Volskaya. Any preferences on which one you want to do first?
We'll just go in order, I guess.
Okay.
Volskaya?
Volskaya. I'm kind of feeling Volskaya, honestly. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Traveling to Volskaya. Ready.
Okay. So we just fast forward through a lot of this, and then.
Friend Hypno's on Baptiste.
Yeah, so just to kind of outline a few points here. So Hypno said try to focus the commentary on his team, which makes a lot of sense. But he also did say his team as a whole. So I mean, we can do any micro things with any of these players, but also just commentary on how they play together is also good. Okay. And just in general focusing on them, not so much on what this team could be doing better, but more like how they can improve.
So like no macro team stuff.
Well, yes, macro team stuff for their team, for like Hypno's team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And individual
as well as individual stuff that we see. So I'm thinking we'll just keep the cam like third person for a bit, for the most part, and start with the high level. And if there's a certain individual that we think we can really break down a little bit more, we'll do that. But
okay, yeah. So we'll show Torb Kree, huh?
Yeah. So let me just make sure there's no switches, but I'm gonna pause in a second here to. Okay, looks like okay, it's set. So we're looking at these comps, right? So on Hypno's side, we have pretty much spam with the double shield, Bap Zen, Kree Torb, and then the opponents are running much more of a brawl with Reinzar, Lucia, Moira, Genji, Ashe. So there's literally 12 different heroes on the map right now. It's totally different style. So I mean, we'll see how this plays out. But my high level thoughts, and I want to get your feedback too, Aaron, is like so. We'll speak from Hypno's and his team's point of view, right? But like, if you're spam here, which by the way, I do think they have the better comp, based on both the meta and the map. Basically, on Volskaya especially, you want to keep the long sight lines. Since they're on Brawl, you want to prevent them from ever closing the gap. There's also good high ground on Volskaya as well, so people like... I feel like a BAP could be up there, a Zen sometimes, Sigma off-angling maybe, Kree, maybe even Torb at times. But the big thing is you need to keep some gap between you and the enemy Deathball, because the Reinzar need to close the gap. Like, they can't really do much at range, especially with a Genji too. So that's kind of how I break this down, especially from the blue team's perspectives. What do you think about these comps?
Yeah, I mean, I think you basically did it. Like, I'll be looking at how Hypno's team is gonna be like kiting the brawl, right?
Right,
the brawl, and also like abusing their like since they have so much more like range and spam, right? They need to be utilizing that. So it would be nice if they start on high ground, because I think starting on high ground Volskaya is like on either of the high grounds, preferably top right, where the camera is right now, is really good. But yeah, like right there.
Yeah.
But it can work out here. So like I think basically I probably expecting the tanks to take most of like the brawl damage, while everyone else just kind of sits in the back and like spams out people.
Yep.
And that way, honestly, looking at their enemy comp, I don't know what the Genji's gonna be doing, but we'll see.
Right. And I am really interested to see, like, on the red team side how they path, because that I think is going to be really important in terms of closing the gaps. I'm very curious to see how they rotate through the map, take map control, and how Hypno's team responds. So let's play this out a little bit. We've got some people coming back from spawn.
So we're not set up. So this is like not great.
Right.
But yeah, okay. So we're going high ground. I like that.
Yeah. So they are rotating eventually, and at least we are getting to. Although this position is a bit passive, and I think I agree. We probably could have started over here. They did kind of make do and rotate, and this is pretty safe and stable and good. That being said, the red team completely got through the choke without taking any poker.
Yep.
Without any resistance, so...
Okay. Team's looking to take the fight to them. That's good. We should be rotating. Good.
Okay, so the Orisa is still looking forward. I don't know, and Hypno is not really turned around, so I think there's a lack of scouting here, probably.
Yeah, lack of scouting and communication, because... Or at least just awareness, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, we were talking about how I was going to be looking at how you guys, like, kite their brawl. So far, we've let them walk into us.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe think about how we might want to kite. So we can either take the fight in the corner, I think, like where they're coming up right now, or I wouldn't drop point. But I also don't know if I want to kite all the way around to the other side. Maybe that could work, though, as long as you guys do it together. But I could also see you guys taking a fight on the corner. But so far, it looks like they've kind of caught you guys with surprise.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is they're already on top of the blue team, right? Like, it's hard to kite here because they've already closed the gap, and our tanks are in the completely wrong position. I mean, even when they do close the gap, you want to get those shields sandwiched in between the two teams because that's your main, defensive resource. Hypno's probably going to have to burn the lamp here. Let's play this slowly, just see what happens. So Hypno is still, like, yeah, you have to burn the lamp immediately, which is not ideal. The Orisa shield is already deployed. And I also want to point out that Ashe is going to be essentially completely uncontested because...
It's a nice crossfire.
Yeah, it's a really nice crossfire.
Sigma, yeah, it's bad. Sigma, it's good for the Ashe.
Right, yeah, it's good for the Ashe.
Yeah, we can just keep watching. Yeah, that played out about as much as I expected.
So, I mean, yeah, this is already pretty over. You're just kind of delaying the inevitable here, but...
So I feel like that's kind of why I like the top right high ground too, because I feel like there's like a harder choke in that one doorway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas the left side, it's like they can just walk up either through, like, there's like 3 pathways to get up, right?
Objective lost.
And if they take the stairs, it's just like pretty free space, I feel like. I don't know.
Right.
And there's like nowhere to go. Yeah, it's like...
So we can just recap real quick because I think it's pretty simple. There's just a few like high-level comments, right? So it's like one, like being set up properly at the beginning of the round. Even like 10 seconds in, they were rotating and not taking control of the map, starting in the right place. This would have been a much better angle. That Ashe can't just like get this free off angle if you're starting here. And then 2, like scouting once you're set up. Like, I mean, the red team was really, really smart, right? Like, they did exactly what they should have done, which is close the gap. And how do you do that? You just come around to this backside where the enemy team doesn't have sightlines. So had they scouted that ahead of time, right, then they could have probably gone to the opposite high ground and made sure that Ashe didn't have the off angle and still keep the gap between the brawl and themselves. Yeah. But they didn't scout that. The Ashe got the off angle, the tanks closed the gap, and then not only that, like in Hypno, you were standing in like a very dangerous spot where you had to burn lamp early, and then everything just kind of crumbled from there, I would say. But I mean, that kind of stuff I think can get cleaned up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so right away I don't really like holding the choke here. I feel like...
Right.
Well, no, I can see working. Like that, you just have tanks that choke maybe. But then, like, if they take top right, like on the lift there, where the Ashe is already there.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like it's awkward because the squishies can't really peek the tanks. So maybe we do hold on point here, but
I think tanks would be further back. And the reason I actually paused the video is I just want to do a quick ult check, and their Orion is about to have shatter. And so if I was him, I would love to just get one fire strike in, just running past the shield if the tanks are playing this far up. And I'll be interested to see how this plays out. But yeah, this is tough. The Orisa and the Sigma don't always need to be completely stacked like this too. Like, I think the Sigma is probably going to need to spend a lot more time looking at that. I mean, it's the beginning of the fight, so we'll see. But I just want to point that out in case that comes up later.
Nice
Oh,
pull.
nice pull on the Ashe and kill. Okay, I didn't have the best camera angle, but that was a pull rock, so that was nice. Let me flip it this way.
Yeah, see, that's like what they're doing right now is what I'm worried about. Yeah, so you guys back up, which is good. And they're resetting. That's fine. Yeah. I feel like I want to see Kree on high ground, maybe. I want to see some people on high ground. I feel like, if not all the squishies on high ground, you know what I mean? Because like,
especially with Ryan coming up with Shatter and Cole and
that, and then also like just think about how they can get Valley. The only thing they can do is just run into you. But if like 4 people are on high ground, it's like, yeah, and they can only run into tanks. It's like,
I mean, I definitely think it's reasonable for at least like thinking like Bap can like get to high ground pretty easily. He could be on high ground. Zen maybe.
I definitely want Zen, at least Zen and like 1 DPS on high ground, and then Bap can jump if you need.
So interestingly, I don't think Kree is a bad shout. Like, I think you can put him on high ground, but the only thing is it's interesting because like at the beginning of these fights, right? Like if Kree is standing there and the enemy team is that choke, I don't think Kree like that's well outside his effective range. I think it's a bit too far.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
I do agree that as they start to push up, it would be more ideal to be on high ground. But this is something I've always wondered because I mean obviously I'm like not the best DPS player, but like how do you end up being in the right place at the right time? And like by the time the enemy team does push and you want to be on high ground, do you have time to make that rotation as they W in, right? So it's like,
so honestly, I feel like the answer here is probably just like, so I don't really like Kree on this point. I'd probably like swap for like a more like Ashe. Ashe is just more long range, right? Like so that way she can start on high ground. And and she also has coach gun if she's somehow on the low ground and needs to get up. And you just have the range. Like, so you can just safely sit on high ground in the back, like with a Zen or something, and then just like spam their shield down. It was like Kree, right? You're talking about his effective range, and so like what you said is correct. Like he does need to be closer, but he's also just very vulnerable sitting with the front line like that.
Right.
So if Nacho can play Ashe, I would suggest it, but otherwise.
Yeah, I think Ashe would be a better pick. I think Torb is fine. I think we can definitely look at like turret placement as well because that could be interesting. Since they don't have a whole lot of long range poke outside of Ashe, I think you can be more greedy with it. However, definitely placing it around a corner or in a spot where it can help the supports against like the Genji, I think is also really powerful because like if you put it around a corner or something, it's probably not really getting destroyed easily by them. Like here or like in that back corner over there. That's more of a minor thing, though. I was just thinking about that. Let's play this out, though.
Good.
So you should definitely be thinking about the fact that they have Shatter here, and they've got some ults coming up.
Yeah, we're just all playing on point right now, and it's just like making me nervous.
Yeah, a lot of people on point. Definitely someone could be on high ground. And your tanks are really, really far up. Okay,
Nice.
wow.
Oh, that's just, yeah, that's insane. That's really great stun. Whether or not it was planned, I don't know, but... Well, so they burned 2 ults for nothing of you guys, which is great.
So, okay, the Ryan's close to the back. I was going to say probably could have pushed that to get at least a little bit more poke in once the Ryan went down and the Cole was down. Okay, so now they have Grav Blade, but you have some ults too. Why did you lamp there?
Okay, I think the idea is to lamp so that you can just freely shoot through the window.
Okay, they use a cooldown aggressively.
But that being said, I feel like you guys still have like tank cooldowns up. I don't know if you want to burn lamp like that.
I don't think you do because
I don't.
They have Grab Blade.
Yeah, that is also true.
And you don't have trance. Yeah. Oh, you're getting close, but it's like too. So I think that's tough.
So this is probably a matter of just not tracking ults, and just like throwing down lamp out of habit of just I remember when BAP was like back when double shield and BAP was a thing. That was like the norm, just to throw a lamp around a corner with the window so that you can shoot through it. Like, hopefully you guys win this fight off the window.
Right.
But this is like very risky, right? It's like if you don't get a pick, and they blade right after this, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I mean they probably have to kite this unless they're just gonna straight up disrespect the window and walk past. But you have the lamp down, which they don't quite have beat yet, so that might be tough. So let's see what happens here. This is actually very interesting. Nice.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I still think you can hold the lamp for like a second or two, though, right? You know, you put the.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think anyone taken damage. I don't think.
No, I'm definitely trying to say that you should not throw a lamp there. Like I just wanted to say that I can kind of understand the idea behind it, having played VAP.
Right.
And like having that be like a tactic.
Right.
But yeah, it's like in this situation, like if we were tracking ults, right, and we knew they had blade, like that's just so risky. It's like you're banking so much on the window. The window is strong, but there's no guarantees. Yeah, that lamp is just purely out of like, you know, like we have a full Sigma shield. We have like probably suck and fortify. It's like
right.
We just don't need a lamp, I think.
So I love the window.
Anyways.
I like the aggressive window to prevent them from just walking in.
Yeah.
But I think that cooldown needed to come first, and then you trust the tanks to put their shields down, and then if their shields get destroyed, then you put the lamp in to hold the corner. I guess that makes a little bit more sense. But to just throw the lamp down first, even before the tank shields were there and the window was there, that's I think just the wrong order. And you could have held that a bit longer. But again, the window is correct, and it's good that you're getting way more value out of ultimates, at least at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Flux, you have Bongo, you have High Noon. Let me go back to Torvald. You have 5 ults here. But they also have 4. Alright, so I want to see how they play around Grav Blade. And I want to see how the tempo of this fight's changed by the enemy beat. Okay, we got the BAP on high ground and Kree, so
okay. Yeah,
I like this more now that they have the Grav Blade.
Okay, he set up a top right. Okay.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, okay. Are they gonna still? They probably won't go for it. They don't even have nano, dude.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the enemy team is definitely losing a little bit of steam in terms of like engaging correctly.
Right, and
I think it's just the effect of playing Bro on the double shield, honestly.
Right. I mean, again, I think we both feel they have the better comp, blue team.
Yeah.
But I mean, this fight, a lot of ults on the table, so it could go either way.
Good, I like the damage spam while you don't get the heal.
Good, break their shield. Alright, they just spent so much time waiting for shield.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're blowing ults. Alright. Shit's kicking off.
Okay.
Beat, No, we don't.
Do we not have lamp?
I don't know what happened to it.
I mean, we'll go back and watch this fight. Okay, this is already.
But to be fair, they've been blowing like 3 or 4 ults already, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were to use lamp. But
yeah, I didn't mean it like he wasted. I just was just not sure.
So I mean, if we know they have Grav and Blade, we should probably hold lamp as hard as we can. But we'll see what.
Right. I mean, the other thing too is like I feel like when there are so many ults on the table, you just have to be more decisive and have a plan on how you want to use it, because you kind of let them walk in with the Bob, and they beat early on too. I don't remember exactly where that beat was, but they bob pretty aggressively, and then you high noon, and it's. I like the high noon, but then the. Where was that Ashe? She back here? Okay.
Top, yeah.
Because we probably could have hit Kree with 1 like healing grenade just to keep that up, because if he stayed up for just a second longer, that Zarya might be dead. and that Bob would probably have taken a lot of damage, and that Rhine shield might be shattered, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that one pick, I think, ends up being huge. Like, this Zarya can die here, but I don't think you guys end up killing her, and then she gets the grab off. The pull Flux ends up getting who? And then Bob kills Torb. Where was Torb?
Or
Oh,
that's Kree.
Oh, Torb is over
back there.
Okay.
So.
And Torb had ult too, so I guess the point I want to make is that, like, what's the plan for ults? Because, I mean, you are popping them, but it's a little bit more reactive, I feel like, and
yeah, so
people are also dying, so...
Right, so there's two ways to play, right? Proactive and reactive.
Right.
And so, like, the way the red team is set up, right, they're, like, top left, hiding behind the column. It's, like... It's, you know, it's tough to be, like, decide what ults to use there.
Mm-hmm.
But... yeah, it's just like I feel like if we let them engage like that, I don't know. I just like we probably wanted to take the fight first, even though I know it's awkward like on defense, and I don't even know exactly how you guys should have done it, but
Well, it's like the Bongo Flux. Like, I'm seeing those cooldowns come out. Like, that could have also happened when they were up on that high ground back there, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're doing it on this weird kind of corner, and you sort of get the Rhine, but he has both healers behind him. Bob is already putting tank pressure. You're down both DPS at this point. You don't have a Torble, even though you do, but like he's dead. So.
So like I feel like playing reactively is fine, but you guys just like weren't ready for their engage, right? Like you guys weren't expecting that Bob to come on a point like that, and then you guys weren't expecting like I don't know, just like some rush from them, right?
Right.
Because like let's just look at the positioning, right? It's like no one's shielding the Bob. And Zen is like below your camera, right? Like why we're so spread out, right? It's like you guys just weren't expecting these ults to come out. So it's fine to play reactive, but you really need to be tracking ults for that to work. It's like otherwise you should just be playing proactive, right?
Yeah. I mean, tough fight to win regardless, but definitely planning could be better here. All right, let me put audio back on that ticking. I don't want the ticking sound to just dominate.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Okay. All right.
Like fluxing a brawl. Okay, so there was lamp.
Let me take a look at that one more time. I mean, it looked like they were. I mean, that Arista is like dead if that lamp doesn't come out. But also the Zen, like.
Yeah, Zen has trans, but he's like all the way over there. So like, that's what I was like saying. Yeah, like, that's a big problem. Zen should not be over there.
Right.
Because we burn lamp for that, and then we pop trans, which
then allows them to grab blade uncontested after. So yeah, Zen should definitely not be standing there, right? There's just no reason. He should be here or in that corner. Yeah, that angle doesn't make much sense.
In fact, I'm surprised he's even stayed alive that long by himself on the right.
And you still end up getting some value out of the trance, but because of your positioning, like that, you have to force lamp too soon, and then they're gonna get more value out of their ults in the end. So these tanks are dead. You're also dead. Yeah. So I'm assuming
big core. It's a big core, maybe.
I mean, I've seen crazier fights turn, but.
I like the stall switches.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty chaotic. I probably wouldn't be focusing the Zarya though, but yeah.
Yeah, like if we're playing Doom, we're gonna be trying to punch squishies just for that miracle. Maybe you get the healer or something like that.
But yeah, I mean, most of what you know, the big takeaways there is more of like that ult fight at the beginning when they just kind of walked in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fast forward.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Let's go to the objective. Okay, so it looks like you guys. Let me just make sure there's no swaps. I think this is
incoming. Defend objective A.
So.
Okay. So you guys are doing a double hit scan spam now with the Lucio BAP. Okay, very interesting. And then the enemy team is sticking with their brawl. They've brought in the Junkrat instead of Genji. So this is actually interesting. I would say you actually have to be pretty patient as the offense. I think what's important is taking map control. If you can get to this high ground, maybe rotate. Part of it depends on how the enemy team plays too, but basically at a high level, since they're playing Brawl and you're playing Spam, and since they're on defense, they may just hold this choke aggressively, but you should have more Spam. Even though they have the Junkrat, like, with the Sigma Orisa, I feel like you should be able to poke them out. So once you poke them out and force them to rotate, then you just slowly take control of the map. But it's not as simple as just running in, right? Because they have the Rheinzar, they have the Junkrat. I just think you have to be patient here on the blue side.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm curious to see how we use Lucio. I think.
And that's the other thing too. Yeah, Lucio probably should help with some rotations, even though Zen is probably more of a synergistic pick. But
okay, so we're just looking for fast rotations.
I like this. I like this a lot.
So this is
But
okay. Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Like, I'm expecting the red team to just take the engagement. You guys are like mid rotation, and I don't expect you guys to win it. Because why? So you have 2 hit scan people like stuffed into that room, right? So actually, this Ryan is engaging a little too early.
right.
No, it is. I think he should hold this choke though, because I think the idea of blue team is just like try and spam out the Ryan so that he can't push them on rotation.
Right.
But
I agree.
yeah, it's just so hard. Like taking the Lucio like speed boost rotation here. It's just like your hit scan can do almost nothing. I think.
So the point of coming here is so that at some point you ultimately get to this, right? So
Yeah.
I agree that room kind of sucks, but it's just a means to an end. I do agree with you though that it is dangerous in that
So-
like they can cut you off here.
So I'm just imagining that if red team is smart, they're just never gonna let you through that door. Like they have a Junkrat.
I
they have
agree
an
with
Ash on
that.
higher ground.
One thing I will say is I don't know what the Junkrat is doing. Now, again, not to
Yeah.
comment too much on like what they could be doing better, but he may not end up punishing this. But I mean, if he was like here or there on the Ash, I do agree that it may be tough to get out. I mean, really, what you would do probably is you can't rush. You have to wait for cooldowns. You have to make sure speed boost is there. You need both shields up, and then you have to get from here to here. But you need lamp, you need both shields, and you need speed boost against a good team. Alternatively, instead of coming into this room, which could be a death trap, you probably could just trade poke at the choke, maybe,
Yeah. So here's
or
what I
maybe
was
rotate
thinking.
up there.
When you walk to the choke, so it's fine coming out on this. Like, if the idea is to like speed boost around and rotate like this, with this kind of a comp, it's fine. But you guys need to be reading the enemy comp too, right? Like, if you see brawl like this, you got to realize that you need to spam them out. Like what Saga's saying, you need to poke them out first. Because if you let them like have full cooldowns, hold this door, like you're screwed.
Right.
We can see what happens.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I'm interested.
Okay, yeah. So that's we were trying to. I don't know what happened, but
Well, the Lucio probably should not have been standing at the front of the pack there. I'm not
Think
sure.
you guys were just trying to rotate quick? But
Because
that's
I
really
don't
not
think
how
the
you wanna
Ryan
play it.
was trying to pin the Lucio per se. He was just trying to catch anyone that was coming out.
yeah.
So this is where, again, it's like, obviously this room is not ideal. You don't want to be in here, but it's very difficult to get out, and that's where I think you need all the cooldowns. Like, he already used speed boost, so yeah. I don't think you guys are going to be able to get out now. And the Junkrat should rotate, and the Ash is going to take this off angle from the back, so this is rough.
Yeah, this is about how I expected it.
That being said, now you can
Oh.
potentially turn this.
All right, we win the duel. I feel like I would be rotating out of that. Oh, okay, you guys are okay. They're just feeding in. That's just.
Well, now you can't hold them in here because the Ryan is dead and the Ash is here, so Ash is dead, so it's tough to take the
Yeah,
off
this is
angle.
winnable.
And oh, okay, wow.
Good.
Trying to
I
win
like
it
that.
decisively.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are up too, so you should be pushing. You have both tanks and you have a window, so I'd be pushing and melting the Zarya ASAP. You can just shoot through the bubble. Yeah, I wouldn't even rotate to high ground. You can just run at point. Okay, you guys should have this. So yeah, I think the mistake was mainly just on a micro level of Lucio getting a bit too ambitious, running out too fast. A better team probably could have kept you in that room or just straight up killed you. So maybe just being a little bit more patient, poking out.
Yeah, if it was a better team, you guys would not have won that.
Well, and if they poked them out so that they had to retreat here, for example, then you can rotate that way and take that high ground because they don't have enough time to like just run straight at this door, right? But so I definitely think you probably should have, to Aaron's point, poked them out first and then take that good spot.
Yeah, that just goes back to what I was saying about like take the time to read the enemy comp.
Right.
Because like just realize that like your set coming out, like just be ready to like play it in different ways, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's part of spam on offense. It's just a bit awkward, I feel like, because you just have to play a little bit slow at times. It's not like Brawl where you can just really just jump in and just speed engage, even though you guys have Lucio. Okay, so you're taking this high ground, which I like. And let's acknowledge one critical switch here, and that is that they now have a Widowmaker and not a Junkrat. So less just raw spam, but obviously that kind of high burst damage peak potential, so your tanks are definitely going to have to be mindful of that and support and squishy positioning as well. But I still think you have an opportunity here, kind of going back to the principle we talked about at the last point, really breaking shields and forcing enemy resources before you engage. You don't need to just run in here, so you could just definitely poke this Rhine down a bit. So I like that you're...
I feel like... Yeah, I feel like Kree just needs to be like focusing their tanks, and then Ashe is probably just on sniper duty at this point, even though it's a lot of pressure on her.
Right. And I almost wonder if there's an opportunity for like a split push here with like a DPS or Sigma or something off angling, but maybe it is awkward because it is a bit of a long rotation. What's the ultimates looking like? They have Shatter. They have Cole. I guess you guys are kind of just building up ults, it looks like, trying to get Flux online, Bob online. I think it's going to be tough to push it without those. But I mean, I do like the patience here. I mean, you don't want to push in when your shields are down.
Yeah, we don't want to be playing for an ult right now.
Oh,
they go for the Doom.
Wait, what?
Off the Widow.
Okay.
That Doom is...
He should be...
starting, yeah, he is. Okay, so we're going off a pick here. I'm fine with that.
Oh my word, that
it's
is...
a big lamp, though.
It is a huge lamp.
And we actually get the Flux off, so there's no follow-up.
Okay, actually massive lamp, though, because that was like a 5-man.
Yeah.
Nice.
The lamp and the Flux. Really...
I wish that Kree was like 3 feet back, but...
Yeah. But then the back is fine. Everyone up.
You can do damage to it. Should be pretty decisive. You guys have Bongo.
Alright, this is just clean up, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to see Bongo come out now, just like
clean it up faster. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, nice positioning from the Ashe to stay a little bit further back. Yeah, you guys should be cleaning this up, get the Tracer, and then that should be it. Yeah, I mean, I like the patience on point B to just make sure they had ults, and then they just snowballed from there, and then...
Yep, that's good.
They punished one mistake from the enemy, they had the ults, and then they just... pressed that advantage. So that was nice.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, the main thing is just being patient on offense when they had spam, which they fixed on point B.
Yeah, if we had seen that kind of patience at like point A, it would have been much better, but
yeah,
it worked out. Probably shouldn't have, but alright, so this one we're at least starting on high ground.
So we're starting on high ground. It's still not the high ground we suggested, but I like the fact that they at least seem to have a plan, and hopefully, and we'll see what happens, obviously, but we'll see if they rotate better this time. They're sticking with the double hit scan. They've brought the Zen back into play, which I like because you're on defense. You don't really need the speed boost, and I think Zen is fantastic with spam, and also just on this point. Let's see if the enemy makes some switches because they have the legs and Tracer. Okay. No, they have Doom. Okay, so two more, brawly, but also divey DPS. So the core of the team, I think, is still going to want to close the gap, but I'll be interested to see what kind of flank angles the Tracer or Doom take, if at all. But more than anything else, we'll obviously focusing on the blue team. Let's just see how they rotate. So you guys are all looking at them, so you see where they're coming. So that's good. You know where they're coming from. And you've already started to rotate more than you did last time, so I like this. Again, it would have been better if you were here, because they're getting all... Part of the good thing with spam, right, is that like you have so much more shield pressure, but you're not really applying that pressure on them at all. So you've essentially let them get to point for free. So you definitely could have put a lot more pressure on them. Let's see where the red team rotates. So I mean, the red team is being wise, to be honest.
Why don't they just go back around the stairs? Like, they're taking so much damage right now.
Yeah, I mean, they could be a lot more decisive, but the general pathing, I think Mega Room or stairs is fine. They shouldn't just be standing out there as long as they were, but... So...
Wow.
So now your team has a decision to make, right? So you guys are at least aware this time of where they are and that they're about to come to you. It is 100% possible, I think, to start rotating. Or you already could have, but
I think you could just take that fight. Like,
okay.
Yeah. I will say, just be careful of the Doom being able to like knock people off, right?
Right.
Like their Tracer, I know we don't want to talk about the red team, but like their Tracer's already fucked up. Like she's engaging with other team. Like she's gonna use recall in like 1 second, so she's gonna be out of the fight.
Right, but even if you are going to take the fight here, you got to be ready for it, right? So it's like, I don't know if, again, the Zen, the Ashe should be on the front line. Like, the tanks already need to be...
Yeah, shields should be, like, off cooldown and, like, ready to, like, place to, like, hold the choke.
Right.
Which Arista's shield should be, hopefully.
Okay.
The Doom is in, as expected. Okay, he missed.
Oh, but now he's behind.
Yeah, they always split. So... We didn't hold the I said take the fight up top, but we didn't hold the choke. Like you need to hold the choke in that scenario. Like
so,
the doorway.
Yeah. You're saying don't even let them walk through the doorway. Like funnel all this damage through here.
Yeah, exactly. You let them through, then it's kind of over.
Right.
But also we do have hit scan, and maybe we could just afford to rotate away. But in the end, they have speed, and they probably catch you either way. So. I don't know. I'm leaning towards like taking the fight of the choke and just making sure your DPS are aware that they need to like,
they have
get there.
speed, but they also don't have any range damage with the Tracer Doom, right? So it's like they have to be right on top of you. So even if they're like at a mid range, it's not that threatening. That's why I think the rotation could. But I mean, I do agree. I mean, certainly, like if they're actually funneling the damage, it's hard to walk through here. Especially when you have like Tracer Doom and all you have really is Zarya bubbles because your Rhine shield is gonna get destroyed. So yeah, I mean, this is again kind of lost, but
yeah, like if you take the fight at the choke, you just have the tanks at a choke, and everyone just kind of sits in the back at an angle that you can do damage, of course. Otherwise, yeah, you maybe just kite it all and just keep spamming them as you kite.
So let me just let this play out, and then we'll just summarize. So I mean, so on point A defense, it's basically been the same thing over and over, but just like. Better scouting, better initial positioning, like start somewhere like here. I mean, I honestly feel like even maybe down here isn't the best position, but just the fact that you let them walk in so much, and maybe it is okay, but like if you are going to let them walk in, you know that you can't ever let them close the gap, right? So you need to rotate faster, or like Aaron said, if they are starting to get close but they're about to walk through a choke point, make sure that like you completely abuse that and don't let them get completely on top of you.
Yep.
You just cannot let them close the gap. That's literally their win condition. Let's slow this down again.
Yeah, or if you feel more comfortable like kiting it, go ahead and kite it. But
it has to be one or the other. You can't like do in between.
Yeah, you can't just hold in the open like let them come at you.
So
Okay.
Ash is high ground, Bap is high ground. I like this positioning a lot better than before. The critical thing here is I want to know if I'd be curious to know if they realize that the Rhine has Shatter. Hopefully they do. What red team is doing makes a lot of sense.
Red jam, getting creative.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, like their win
Yeah, no,
condition, they
that's good.
have to
That's
close
good.
the gap. So it's like, so you guys have to like respond to this. And even like the Doom and Trace are taking a very threatening off angle too. So this is
really good from red team.
from red team, yeah. So I'll be interested to see how the blue team responds to this.
Yeah, we're placing our shields
Oh,
way too far up. Yeah, like our shield, like our
Nice!
there.
That lamp covering the people underneath too?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. That would have been sick. Yeah,
Yeah, so comments for a tank. When you see like them crossing high ground like that, they just just pick just back up a bit, because just look at the angle, right? Like if they're sitting on the catwalk, right?
right.
They're just shooting over those shields. Like a shield does nothing. So like just place the shield a little bit further back, and that way you can maybe even like block shatter there. But like, yeah, it's like they just walk past your shield because you place it so close to them and like just right underneath them. So just like jump over it. But yeah, I mean, my assumption is that you guys just never seen this rotation before, so you guys weren't ready for anything like that. But I would just say if you're playing double shield into brawl, just always be ready for like any kind of rotation like this, right?
Right.
Because that's all they can do, and that's the best thing they can do. So don't get caught off guard by it.
Yeah. So just being more prepared for their rotations on defense seems to be a pretty common thread.
Being ready for it, and then just like actually like trying to counter it, I guess. And it's not that you guys like aren't trying; it's just you guys probably just didn't know how to. But
right.
Which is like obviously for next time, just thinking about how best can we like shut down their rotation. And it's mostly on tanks, to be honest. But you guys can definitely help.
Yeah,
like, communicating.
I'm almost thinking. I mean, I guess we can go back a little bit, but like, how would you have rotated here? Like, so you said put the shields closer back. I almost wonder, you know, should even all of the squishies like rotated and almost like flip the map?
Yeah,
So it's like
I would have. Yeah, because like we know that the Doom is like playing kind of off from their team and their tracer as well. Like that is really smart from them, right? Because
right, that's the one thing that scares me about just completely flipping the map. But then again, it's like if your whole team is like
but
bunched
I would.
up.
Yeah, I don't know. I would flip the map probably.
I think you have to.
Yeah, you probably have to, because like if you stay where the Kree is right now, right, they just like go up above you and then just drop on you, and then you're also kind of screwed that way.
Yeah.
I mean, they can kind of drop on you anywhere, but I would probably just flip the map, and then just watch. I guess be careful with the Doom dive and Tracer dive.
Yeah, I mean the good news is if you flip the gap or flip the map, like you're already kind of taking their core out of the fight by just putting your shields between you and them, and they're kind of farther away. And so then you just have to deal with the Doom and the Tracer.
Yeah.
And between Flashbang, Lamp, Coach Gun, like all these different cooldowns, hopefully you should be able to sustain through that. But yeah, it's... You have to make... I mean, I guess part of this is practice. Like, maybe this is not like a very typical rotation, but yeah, just understanding the basic win condition.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's like ideally this high ground, like this positioning is great against like a standard push, right? But because they went through these, like look at these flanks, like the DPS went this way, the core went back that way. That's actually kind of insane. But yeah, I think that positioning was quite dangerous. Yeah, we looked at that already. Just wanted to just talk about how you would actually go about flipping the map.
Defend objective A.
You could even stop them from like actually getting across the bridge there. Like there's that like narrow hallway that you could maybe like spam down, but that would require more than just the Ash and the Bep on high ground.
Right, right. So I don't know if they had time to force that rotation. I mean, if they scouted a little bit more proactively, maybe.
Yeah, and to do that, obviously, that just requires preparation, like foresight, and expecting a Brawl team to do that. So that maybe you can set like one of the tanks up top.
Yeah.
Like maybe just put Orisa on point, right? And then they have Sigma up top as well.
Yeah, so
and that way you like, extra spam up top.
Yeah, I definitely think your Sigma can take more opportunities to off angle and scout and start on a high ground. I think that would be very beneficial because it's like you're not running Lucio all the time. You don't always have like a Diva or something who are generally like more standard scouting characters. So
yeah,
Sigma.
Yeah, you can just sit Sigma on high ground and you can drop if he needs, right? So.
Okay, just slow us down. Okay, so we have double hit scan with the Brawl core from the enemy team again, and then you guys have double hit scan against spam, but you brought the Lucio back for offense. So I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like you guys are gonna go for that same pathing. I'll be very interested to see if you get stuck in the room. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit unlucky. I think the Ashe just needed to. This might sound dumb, but like just walk into the room. I think tried to coach gun, potentially like boost herself in. I don't want to analyze this too much. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I mean, I think she was just trying to boost in the room, and that's a little unlucky. But now again, it's like you get picked, and it's like this is a really dangerous room to get stuck in, and you probably again could have just forced them out.
I mean, you guys gotta be careful, like generally, like if you do the same thing, right? They're like hopefully they don't just feed again, but like, you gotta be careful about doing the exact same movement. Like you guys need also to get creative with if you're gonna like go for the rotation plays, like try to get creative as well, because if you do the same thing over and over, like people learn,
right?
Like, and that's why they like try to collapse on you that time with the like at the first doorway they try to collapse on you your rotation there.
Right.
And yeah, now you guys are stuck in the room again, down one. Although they are letting like the opposite doorway free. But,
right.
We'll see what they do. I'd probably have the Ryan.
Yes, the Ryan's probably going to rotate to where the Orisa is and just going to keep playing door to door and not let you get out, if I had to guess, because this Ryan has generally been.
Yeah. So this is really bad. Like this is exactly how I saw them stopping you the first time, if they had not fed.
Yeah.
But to be fair, your rotation itself is just horrible. You're not bunched up at all. But like this is exactly how the Brawl comp like counters this tactic of yours.
Right. And you've made this rotation when your Ashe still hasn't even. I mean, she's not even respawned. But even when she is, she'll be in spawn. And then your Orisa just kind of took off.
Yeah.
And then the Lucio is kind of trailing behind. But it's like, yeah, this push wasn't together. I totally understand the lamp here. You kind of have to throw it out, but at the same time, you guys are someone is dying here for sure.
This is a wipe. This should be. It's not a wipe.
What?
I cannot believe this.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's okay, but I think it's fair to say that was very risky.
That should not have worked.
Yeah. Because you guys basically just W'd across. I mean, good lamp. At least that was the only thing that helped you sustain there for a brief period of time. But the enemy team, did they not have? Okay, their Ashe. Yeah. I don't know if she was staring down at you guys the whole time, but if she wasn't putting the damage in,
their DPS just isn't in the right position. So,
but their core is doing. Their tanks are definitely doing the right thing, and the healers are also.
Yeah, like I feel like if the Rhino was swinging just a little bit more, you guys would have lost at least one person, two people.
So this is
shield, although he is low, so maybe that's why. But
this is still very interesting because it's like now you have access to the high ground, which is what you wanted, but they can cut off your Ashe. And this is still not won by any stretch, so I'm very interested to see what happens. So yeah, start walking up the stairs. I would not be... Yes, shoot through the door, don't let them walk in, but that doesn't mean stand right at the door. Get away from it and, like, come here. Okay, you guys don't... I don't think you want to stay in that room, like... Okay, yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, their tank line's just being really proactive and just aggressive, and they're just closing the gap and then winning the brawl, because that's what their comp is better suited for. On offense, you just have to play a little bit slower, poke them out, wait for cooldowns, and just be very careful with your rotations.
Here it comes.
Yeah, so I think that was a bit unlucky, and also just bad rotation of cooldowns. Man, just a little unlucky. Probably could have used the Sigma shield to shield some of that entry damage. Looked like Orisa got headshot, but now you can't push this. So I would just completely back off from that corner.
Smoke him out.
Okay, poking a little bit more, but we're going back into the room.
Oh.
Okay, this could be bad. Oh
Shit.
my.
Yeah, it's all of them. Ash survived, but you guys are big lamp.
Big lamp.
A good call from them. Somehow we killed a soldier. Good. We're still crossing.
Like the window.
So like you guys are very rushed to cross, and it's like like theoretically it shouldn't work. It's working, but I would just say be very careful about crossing in the middle of a coalescent.
Right.
The window's good. Like the lamp,
Yeah, they use
like
window
you're
high noon.
like Hypno right now is just basically like saving the entire team, but
Yeah.
and like Nacho got a good pick, but yeah, like your tanks are just way too rushed. Like, if like you're gonna be playing this comp, just like take time to think. Like it just seems like you guys are just kind of slamming your heads into them, or like just like you're putting your head down, just like running without thinking, and it's just like it shouldn't work, but you're getting away with it. So I just
Right.
warn you that it probably wouldn't work against a better team.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree, and I think a big part of what the enemy is doing to contain them and put pressure on them is wait 1 second, is obviously the Reinhardt, right? And he can't just stand around here and just wait. So you can definitely play a bit. I mean, I know I keep saying it, but like break his shield a little bit more, shoot him down, so you have to kind of back off a bit more. So that way, if you do choose to like pad this way, he can't just walk up behind you guys and just slam.
Yeah, so like I mean, let's just get the point over with. I think in the future, like if you're playing double shield, just like
Here it comes.
like especially against brawl, just play slow. Like you don't have to play fast. Like make the brawl team have to play fast, right? Like make them come
Right.
to you.
All right.
Like you don't need to be rushing anything. Like the moment you rush, you kind of like put yourselves like vulnerability. It's just like so much easier. So like, but like if you guys want to play this Lucius style, it's fine. Be smarter about how fast you're going, right? Think a little bit, and then, but otherwise, I would say like playing a Zen, probably just easier. Zen or even a Brig, it's just so much easier to counter and brawl like that. Just play slow. Their hit scanner just kind of blowing you up from the high ground. Yeah, you guys probably lose this. So I actually would be like paying attention to this fight. I'm curious as to whether or not we should have just cleared high ground first, or if we did or not.
So they were up 2 or 3 picks, right?
Yep. Ryan dies.
So their Ryan's dead, and their
Soldier's
Soldier's
dead.
dead. And so they don't have any tank line.
Oh, there's a Bob.
Here it comes.
So just burn Bob.
And Bob. We're ignoring Bob. Arista's just yeah. Like Arista, you need to like chill out a little bit. Like you're pushing the tempo like at the wrong time. Like make sure your team is safe before you push. Like look at where you're at, right? Like if everyone pushed up with you, there would be a Bob shooting you in the ass.
Yeah.
So like just take your time. Make sure you like the back like just think of your team as like a big, like a big unit, right? It's like, so if you're pushing, if you're spread, like you're constantly like spreading the team out like way too far, and it's just like really dangerous. Like right here, the Bob probably doesn't kill anyone, so I can kind of understand like maybe just ignoring it, but just like, there's no hurt in just like taking the Bob out and then moving forward, right?
Right.
But this is just a common theme. I just want to point it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like take care of your team. Like chill out before moving up.
And then the Ashe eventually gets behind your Ashe, so it looks like she goes on a long rotation. And so your whole team just kind of comes to point, and your Ashe is on high ground.
I have no idea how.
So see how their Ashe starts this kind of rotation all the way around the back, and she's gonna end up going up that staircase behind your Ashe. And I don't think your team realizes this because she takes 2 or 3 shots at your Ashe, and your Ashe doesn't turn around. So definitely like having like a Sigma or someone looking out for this, a Kree or someone would be good. Moira too gets behind. Soldiers coming back from that angle. Lucio's there, so like this is not over. So you just have to be careful.
The red team is just kind of big burning them right now. Like their DPSs, especially the playmakers.
Yeah, so like that Ashe is kind of going unnoticed.
Your Ashe, like was it, I don't know your name is, but like you should just drop there. I don't know why you're like 80 strafing up top.
Yeah.
I just dropped. Like Bap can't really heal you up there, and Lucio probably doesn't have time to get up to you.
Yeah, I think in the heat of the moment, it's just like maybe the impulse to not want to just give up the high ground because you know that their Ashe is just gonna rain just so much damage from up there. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's hard to get healed. And now this is tough because that soldier has visor and this Ashe is on this high ground. I still don't know why both shields are just kind of pointing off towards spawn when there are other threats, but hopefully the Sigma shield rotates to the soldier or something.
Okay. Also, we probably should have called out. So hopefully you guys know about this Ashe, right? So one shield needs to be on this Ashe like right now, preferably Sigma. And Sigma's kind of oblivious that the soldier is also like on the ground shooting him. Like Sigma shield is doing nothing right now.
Yeah, I think the Sigma shield rotations were just slow in general there. It could have been much faster to zone at the soldier a little bit. Definitely the Ashe.
Yeah, this is a hard fight to win no matter what though, because they've gotten so many off angles on you.
So that's lost.
That was like, so partly the red team really played that well, but also you guys are just like, you guys kind of panicked, I feel like, and
60 seconds.
lost communication of some sort, and then tanks were struggling to like hold the angles.
Yeah.
Like I like the Baptiste positioning, like you backed up into that little cubby there. That's good. But yeah, there's just no way you can keep everyone up like that. Since like, so again, you guys are rotating like down a man. Like I don't know why this keeps happening.
Yeah.
Like there just needs to be some kind of call of like 3, 2, 1, right? Just count it down and move together.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, at least tell people to like bunch up on your tanks and then move. Like I don't know why this keeps happening.
Well, and certainly you can't bunch up when someone is still coming back from spawn, right? So like
Yeah,
again, just
it's
going
like,
back
take
to
your
like
time,
take
turn
your
around.
time.
Yeah, turn around and look, right? I don't know who's making the calls, but I hopefully there's someone making the calls, and whoever's making it needs to like just like make sure everyone's there.
Yeah, because this pathing can be dangerous as is, but you definitely want all your people there at the very least, just so that you have some strength. Because
You guys have
now,
time.
yeah,
You have 40 seconds.
yeah,
Like, there's no rush.
definitely plenty of time. Yeah, and because you guys aren't together, they can definitely cut off like your Ashe or your Kree if they get split like that. It's unfortunate. Yeah, had your Kree been there, you guys probably could have done more with these windows. And I do actually like these windows trying to get out of this room.
Yeah, but like look at red. Like red team is getting smarter, right? Completely dodging that.
Yeah.
And look at like there's a Zarya and an Ashe pushing like behind you guys. Like they've like this room is just so like I just hate pushing this room. Especially if you have like double shield, but like. And like you're doing the same exact rotation like over and over. Like they're just gonna get better and better at holding you in there.
Yeah. So how do you think you should pad this? So I mean, we said a few things, right? So first of all, just play slower and actually I think spam them a little bit more force them to rotate or like not get the best positioning, right? And then also have all your people. But
Yep.
even then, would
So-
you pick a different path or?
Yeah, like if we're gonna take this Lucio strat of like just quick rotation to high ground, yeah, just like go right. Go right or go left, like switch it up.
Yeah.
Like you just go left, it's just like it's just so like it's predictable, first of all. And then
Right.
like they learn. Like people learn.
Right.
Like you know, not everyone is like you don't have to be a great player to just, you know, like learn a pattern.
Right.
Right? Like everyone can see that you guys are just gonna quick rotate into this room and then like kind of rush out of it at the same time, or maybe like window, like you guys windowed last time, so they probably like know to hide on this wall, is what they
Right.
were doing. And now their Zarya and their Moira are like pushing behind you, like they're just getting better at holding you. And like I don't, we'll see what happens, but like maybe you guys get away with this again, but like every time it's just so risky.
Yeah, this is looking a bit grim though, because the Cole is coming from behind, and
Yeah.
that Zarya's grab if you need it, and there's a shatter.
Lamp is down too. Yeah. Final fight too, basically. Yeah.
Repair the damage.
Yeah, so like your guys' ult usage is good there, but you just make it so hard on yourselves.
10 seconds.
Like you guys are trying to like, I don't know. Yeah, just play slow with double shield. Like you're on a double shield, just take your time, do the spam. Like they only have one shield, right?
Victory.
Just abuse it. But yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's some good things though on that map. There's some good patience on attack.
Now
With the exception that you guys just like
battle.
your first point tactic was just very, just kind of flawed in general. But
Right.
yeah. Anyways, King's Row.
Well, let's
I'm,
look
I'm,
at
I'm
King's
actually,
Row.
I'm actually be give me a second. But you can keep going.
Okay. Okay.
Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Alright, I'm just gonna wait for the comps to settle down a bit. I don't know if they're keeping that Widow. Okay, it looks like they are. So you guys have spam again, but you're going with the Bad Brig variation, which I actually do like. I think the Brig is good to armor pack, like the Ashe, even the Torb. But again, like in terms of starting positioning, similar to Volskaya, I don't think you necessarily need to start here. I mean, it's just not bad, but you could definitely start high ground too, because they are brawl, right? So it's going to be tough for them to rotate to get to high ground. They can do it, but it takes a lot more time, and they don't have that much range damage besides the burst from Widow. So yeah, I think starting position could be different. You could set up a lot of people here. You can have Sigma off angling, Ashe off angling. You can have Orisa here to start, and then she can drop when she needs to. Vap can be high ground though. Torb's Brig. So that's the first thing right off the bat. Yeah, let's see how this plays out.
I'm back. So Hypno's on Ashe.
Yeah, so all I was just saying and pointing out was just the two comps. So they're on spam, right, with the Bat Brig variation, and then enemy team's still on Brawl, just a different version of it. And I was saying, kind of similar to Volskaya, they can start on high ground,
Yep.
and they don't necessarily. I mean, this is not. I wouldn't say it's terrible positioning or anything like that, but like I think this is more powerful, and because they're in Brawl, they have to rotate to get to high ground, and they don't really have much range damage outside of like I guess Widow. That's more of a bursty kind of thing. So the Reinzar can't do much like if you guys are up here, and then the only person that really needs to drop is like Orisa for the point contest, and Bap can support her from the high ground. But let's see how this plays out. And so we're gonna play this out obviously, but one thing I can already tell that's happening is like this enemy team is wanting to rotate, right? And they're gonna come through here and flank this way to close the gap. But not only are they going to do that to close the gap, they're going to create an off angle for this Widowmaker most likely. So I want to see how you guys rotate to deal with this, and if you keep your distance while also dealing with that Widow, which is not the easiest thing to do, but it is possible.
How did Genji get over there?
So Genji split from the core, and he just came back around statue and came this way. So he was also poking from a similar side to Widow. And right now, you guys are doing... Well, not much, right? Because you're not really dealing with either threat. You're not really that far away. Like, the Rhine can kind of swing, essentially, and hit this Brig. And he can easily hit fire strikes on a bunch of people. So you're pretty close to the core.
So,
and then also, you're not dealing with the Widow at all, or Genji. So
yeah. I think here's what I wanted to see. Like, if you're caught in this situation, like Ashe, like where the Ashe was, I would like to see you probably where the BAP is, right? Because then you've got this gray angle like into their backs. They're trying to put like what are they gonna do, right? Like if you're just sitting right above them like that, it's just better. Like the rotation will take a while, but you're probably gonna do more than what you're doing right now, shooting into the Rhine shield, and you're by yourself, so you get picked, right? So,
and yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean that's about it. But
I agree. And then the second thing is the Sigma again, like the shield. You just gotta be more attentive with your shield and like think about like what is the threat you're trying to neutralize instead of just kind of using it as a second Orisa shield, right? It's like you don't necessarily need to put it in front of like a Reinzar Brig. That's not what you need to be shielding. It's like you need to be dealing with this Widow.
So to that point, like Orisa, you need to like Orisa. You're oftentimes like not thinking about like you're kind of just like just like throwing the shield down, and then you don't have cooldown, right, to like throw your shield back in front of the Rhine here. So preferably Orisa keeps her shield in front of like the core,
right?
And
I agree.
Sigma can like cover the off angles because you can just like you can adjust the shield so much easier.
I agree.
But yeah, so like you guys need to be like the tanks need to be a little bit more coordinated on that. So Orisa, you need to be thinking before you put like don't just like out of habit put it on the corner that you're used to from like ranked, right?
Right.
Like you need to be thinking about, especially on Brawl. Again, we're coming back to this, but realize that they're on Brawl, so they're going to be looking to rotate around you. So just be cognizant of where you're putting your shield. Like this is, I feel like this has happened multiple times where you just don't have a shield to like replace down to cover their rotation angle. And then like Sigma has like what Sigma's doing right now is like he just has to do that, right? Like if he's not shooting this angle, it's like so much damage into your flank.
Right.
And then he doesn't have shield to shield the Widow, right? Which is what Target wants him to do and what he should be doing. But yeah, it's just like our shield management is just all over the place.
And again, if you start with the better position to start off with too, a lot of this stuff is easier because like if you're right here, right? It's like it's much more obvious where you need to put the shield so this Widow doesn't get this angle right here. It's much easier to shield off their core because they're not putting as much damage back into you because it's much harder for them to get on that high ground. So it's just a combination of a lot of things here. But let's see how this plays. I mean, at this point, it's like your team is not really taking control of the map on defense. Like you're just kind of giving up a lot of space, and you're just in a very defensive position now. And they have already gotten their core into your team, and their Widow has an off angle, and their Genji got a pick. So this is looking kind of grim at this point. Yeah, it's just kind of clean up. And yeah, the Widow is just kind of free firing, but this fight's over.
Mace to the face. Mace to the face.
Okay. Let's see how Streets phase goes.
Stop the payload.
Nice dynamite.
So their Widow's top right looks like,
yeah. Yeah, Ashe, your position is like so risky right there. Like, you're not using any shield. Like, you're gonna be up there, at least have your Sigma up there. Because, like, they have a Widow and they have a Genji who would just, like, jump you.
Right.
No one's gonna save you up there.
Wait, did they switch roles? Oh, okay, they did switch roles. Cool.
Yeah, they switched
Yeah.
at beginning of this match.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Sigma definitely could have been right here to help with the Ashe and put a shield.
Otherwise, just don't sit up there, especially if they have a Widow and a Genji. Like, yeah, you're just like so vulnerable.
This is looking like it's gonna be. Oh, nice shield.
Oh, big block. Oh.
Nice. You should be able to push this. A nice pull. Yeah, keep poking them.
Push.
Yeah, you could be further up and poking them more.
Holding this corner is fine if they have a Widow like that. You're still down one, so I would be probably cutting a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, now that you've let them get to car, I think you kind of have to keep the space and kite a little bit more.
The red team like resets actually really quickly.
Yeah, yep.
Which is great on them, but just be aware, right? Like they're able to if you're holding this. Okay.
Okay, so it looks
Are
like
we
got
ready
a
for this
full
blade?
Flux. That got 2, and then they'd have a nano blade. And do we have any ults? We have a defensive ult. We're getting close to rally, but it's not gonna be up. Oh.
Hold on a second. Why are we on a Moira?
So we switched from BAP to Moira. I don't think.
Are we? So I feel like we panic swapped here
Yeah,
because
that's a good call.
we're scared of the Genji, but I feel like Baptiste survives a Genji so much better than a Moira. And at least Baptiste can do a little bit more for the team with the lamp.
Without question, does more for the team in terms of spam synergy. Also, I think the lamp is just such a valuable cooldown.
And like so, right? The only counter you guys had was like a lamp, like a non-ultimate counter. Was the lamp, right? So I was maybe looking for the lamp there, and then I realized you guys switched. And we tried to torbolt the Genji blade, but it's like you guys weren't prepared for that because no one was actually sitting inside the torbolt.
Right.
And you could also flux it if you wanted, but obviously you weren't thinking about that either. So I'm just imagining this Genji blade wiping you guys every single time now, unless you guys start adapting your ults. But
yeah,
now we've wasted 2 ults for their nano blade, which is an even ult trade, but.
Okay, so this fight's over. They're just cleaning up Sigma.
You wasted like 2 very strong ults. Like probably the only 2 ults that actually team wipe for you guys. So you guys are probably gonna have a hard time taking this or retaking, maybe engaging on second again. Especially since they have Grav, and we don't have a lamp anymore either, right? Like that's another thing. Like lamp can also save you from Grav, but now you don't have that either. Yeah, so we don't get the touch. We got a 5-minute hold now, which is doable if we rotate ults. Like third point is very easy to hold if you rotate ults. It's a fine Bob. Yep, good. You guys are not winning this fight, so I would be ulting a little bit more right now. Like I would be dropping bongo, at least.
I almost wonder if they should have started with the bongo and then thrown in the bob afterwards.
Yeah, I mean like either works.
Yeah.
I just want to see more ults, like because right now we are.
I definitely agree that they should be ulting. Yeah, that I totally.
Yeah,
agree.
like right now this is really awkward, right? Because there's just casually like surviving the bob.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna ride it out, right? They're just gonna wait and then re-engage. But if you had dropped bongo during the bob, you would keep the pressure on them, right? You would keep your advantage over them,
right?
And then they wouldn't be like you would maybe do like maybe get like I don't know, just maybe get a kill through that, or their cooldowns would go down, so if they had the back out, right? So, but I just imagine like I mean I'm just imagining them just insta like engaging right here,
right?
And probably grabbing, and just winning off of that. Or maybe even rallying in and then grabbing, but
yeah, let's see what happens. Hopefully you guys bongo or something. Yeah, they rally like you say, and then
grab is okay, counter rally.
Back.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You guys are still probably gonna die from this grab if you're not ready for it.
I mean, this is still not one, so I'd probably commit bongo.
Yeah, we again, right? We just committed 2 support ults and didn't do much with it.
Right.
And so you might be wondering, well, you know, okay, then how are we supposed to win with that? And I'm just saying, I feel like Moira just does nothing. Especially if they have rally, like Moira's not gonna kill anyone.
Right.
And your own rally is just like, so you can't just sit there and swing into their faces either. It's just like, it's just so like, I don't know, like you guys' like ult synergy or like ult like value is just not quite there. And then
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Moira is probably not the pick, but also understanding that it's like, what do you need in the fight? And it's like, if you actually want to turn it at some point, you got to put the damage down, right? And it's like you're kind of holding this bongo for a while, because it's like you started with the Bob, which I mean, Bob can do some damage, but really the way you guys used it was just kind of buying some time and putting objective pressure because they easily kited it, and then you rally, and then you Cole.
to like no like.
So that's
like,
where I
no
was
problem.
like, you know, okay, maybe Bongo didn't need to be the very first thing, even though I think it probably would have been more effective like earlier. It needs to come out at some point.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. It's like very hard for like these support ults that by themselves to like
Yeah.
get anything right.
Yeah.
And
both were used just kind of in the mid fight for it wasn't even to
Yeah.
counter other ults or anything like that. I mean, to be fair, they rallied too, but they're about to come up with 2 tank ults, and now it's like you have to go on the offensive because there's no support ults left for you. And I mean,
I would have
they're
just
coming, so.
like, if you're gonna try and use only the 2 support ults, I would rally first, and then like we kind of stacked it, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't know. You would probably want to try and stagger it a little bit more, but I don't think that wins you anything either, though. But yeah, anyways,
And
we probably should. Yeah, we should definitely be bongoing at this point, but we're not.
bongoing and playing closer to the corner and a little bit further back. I
Yeah.
feel like, because it's like you don't need to be right on. You're playing spam, right? So you don't need to be right on them to do the damage. So just keep the distance, put the damage down, but like keep the space so you're not taking as much damage too, and play around the corner so that when you do bongo, you know, you can use the shield with the corner to. Yeah, so the tank ults are coming eventually. This is big, although your Moira might be able to fade out of it. Okay, wow, so you get there. Okay, this is not over. It's pretty scrappy. It can go either way.
Zarya has an excellent flank angle that we're not covering.
Okay, I think hit
Like
killed.
Sigma, your job is to be covering these angles.
Now all you can do is die on point, so you have one last fight. But
You got your 2 big ults, but see how.
oh yeah, you gotta wait there and not just rush out. The tanks are being really proactive in punishing isolated people, as they should. But
they just have too many ults. Really, yeah.
I mean, I think once the Brig got picked early, they kind of went into panic mode a little bit. Because, I mean, they Tor bolted, they had Sigma ult, but didn't really get much, and then the other team came in over the top.
Initiating match.
Yeah.
But I mean, the concepts that we talked about even from the last map are almost, you know, arguably even more important on this map, right? Because it's like, there isn't the longest sightlines in the world on King's Road. There's a lot of like narrow corridors, so it's like if you're not actually keeping that distance properly, you're just gonna get run over.
Right.
Although it is.
And so
yeah, go ahead.
so like you want, like, you don't want to be like, so we say like keep distance, right? But it's like, you know, like take, like, control the space, like don't
Right.
just give up space for free, but you want to abuse like range, you want to abuse your like spam damage. Yeah, I just like, yeah, I don't know. It was just like there's a lot going on, but
Yeah, and I mean, we pointed out some of the micro things, or some of the tank synergy, and like how to deal with rotations and dealing with the flank angles, and definitely a lot to look at.
I feel like fundamentally you guys' like understanding of like double shield is just like slightly unclear.
Right.
Like, you guys are kind of like trying to play it as like, I don't know. You guys are like sometimes trying to play it like brawly in a way, and then sometimes like, I don't know. It's just like somebody just like clearly don't know how to play in a situation with your comp, which is fine. I'm fine. Like it's fine. I guess you guys are learning it, but um yeah, just like we keep driving this back, but like like abuse your shields, right? Play for your damage, play
Yeah.
for your range.
And
Um,
I think to that point, like that's another reason why Moira may not be the most effective because BAP.
right.
I mean, part of why BAP and Zen are so great with this comp, right, is that they can put a lot of damage and help with the shield war too, right? So definitely lost some synergy there. Looks like we may get some dive though, so that might be interesting.
Yeah, we just shouldn't panic. Like it was just like one Genji like diving by himself. He's like he shouldn't kill anyone.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we're on dive.
Incoming.
Okay, very.
Defend objective A.
So we should be looking for hacks, right? And then diving that target.
Yeah. I would agree with that, and like just kind of as a general principle, talk about these comps again, especially another one. I would say, I mean, the concept of like setting up is still applies here, right? It's just like maybe not the same as like spam where you're trying to poke people out, but still like to your point, Aaron, like definitely focusing down hack target. It's not just like the blind dive in, right? Like definitely focusing down the hack targets, getting Doom, Sombra in the right position.
Yeah, so I would be like taking a high ground, right? Don't just jump. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I would want to see them take the high ground first,
Right.
right? Surround them on the high ground, and then look for a hack target, or at least some kind of low target. Maybe if you like Doom, get someone low or something like that. But they even have a Widow on high ground, so you definitely want to be taking that high ground first.
And certainly you want to be scout. I mean, there's no excuse not to be scouting with dive because you have so many different heroes that can do it. So definitely understand where all 6 enemies are. Figure out the best target to go for. Armor pack the DPS right before the fight, like a Doom or something. Coordinate the tank with like the tanks and the flankers. Let's see how they take the map control first, or if they just kind of do a blind dive. So Sombra rotating to theater, tanks.
Yeah.
Sombra's on high ground. That's good.
Barriers down.
I would like to see tanks go there too. Good. Diva's up. Monkey can take main, I guess. Okay, Monkey just probably die. Okay.
So that was definitely, I think, it's probably a missed jump. I mean, I think that was very dangerous, especially because the moment he went for that jump is also while the supports are rotating. So had the enemy team really collapsed on him and put more damage in, he was not going to get bailed out there. And there is no win. There is.
I have an issue with why our Brig and our Ana are not together.
They were, and somehow they got. That's a good point. Let's look at that, because they were rotating.
Yeah, so like look at what the red team is doing, right? So, like if we had taken high ground, like you guys can so that you can have like maybe like Winston jump them from the front, and then but you can send someone like up on the high ground through the window and then like down behind them too, and then like pincer them that way. Like they just kind of explode that way.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like, yeah, like Monkey, if you're gonna take high ground, just like take the easier jump, right? Like you can just take the jump on the top right. Don't have to go for the window.
He probably got excited seeing the Widow there, if I had to guess, at that moment.
Yeah. I see that.
But it's
But
still
also,
risky. This is quite the jump.
Yeah.
Also, the Ana and Brig are together, so I'll be interested to see how they end up getting split up there.
I would be okay just sitting on like, okay, so Ana goes inside for some reason, even though we're engaging.
Well, the rotation makes sense, I think. Like it was just unfortunate timing, is what I said. Like right as she's like rotating is when the Monkey jumps, because I think Ana on high ground could be pretty sick.
Yeah, like I agree. But
And the
like,
Brig as well.
I feel like the call probably already came out that we're going in on a Widow, so I think Ana, you shouldn't be rotating at this.
That's true, and part of the thing is we're obviously operating on assumptions and limited information here because we don't have the comms. But so certainly, to that point, like if the call was, hey, we're going in, then you don't really have time to rotate. Furthermore, it's very unfortunate that now our supports are split because I think the Brig got concerned about the Monkey because he fell, and also There is a Genji there. I don't know if the Brig is necessarily aware of that, but... So now our Ana doesn't even really get to... Now she's going to end up in that back corner, probably because she realizes now the fight's on, which is not that ideal, because that's not that great.
Yeah,
High ground would have been way better.
Like, you can't even shoot half your team because they're above you.
Brig is looking at the Genji. Okay.
Good anti.
Yeah. You
He should
might
be
be able to kill that
focusing.
Genji. Okay.
Okay, he lives.
So, I mean, it's just sloppy, right? It's like, who are we really focusing? We're not going in at the same time, and we're not in position. So that was part of just, like, the whole setup process. Like, really stage it.
Yeah. Like,
Okay, so
okay. What?
okay.
I don't even what.
So, I mean, this is just sloppy, right? But this is not off of... This is more off of just, like, pick potential and not really good coordinated dive play. And the enemy team also... I mean, I don't love their comp either, right? But, like... That being said, this is not one yet. The Zarya is super high charge. That Ryan can die. Good hack on the Zarya.
2v2 right now. You guys have spawns
Oh,
though.
nice jump on the Widow. You don't need to chase her. Come back to the...
Like, I can see them retaking this.
It's definitely not one yet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, nice punch.
Doom is doing work though. Oh, big rev.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, I mean, their tanks are just really aggressive and go after it. I mean, you are winning this. That Ryan should die here. Yeah, 100%.
Monkey actually does a really good job
Of zoning the team in the back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really that whole time, it's like, you guys are playing dive, right? And you're not necessarily getting value out of your comp, per se. It's just, like,
Yeah, I think.
things started to break down. The enemy team didn't necessarily play that well, and then taking control of the chaos.
It's like, part of dive is, yes, like, causing chaos.
Yeah, true.
But, like, the kind of chaos that was caused there was just,
Right.
like, super lucky.
Right. Let's see if in streets they can set the stage a little bit better.
So I'm not really watching Brig, but hopefully we're packing DPS or something.
Yeah, I want to see how Brig positions in relationship to Ana and the DPS here, especially on streets. And looks like we're putting Ana on cart.
I would definitely be prioritizing packing Doom.
Yeah, Doom definitely sticks out for sure above everyone.
I know, yeah. Brig changes are coming in soon, but a good practice if you're running this.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, so again, right, exactly what your tanks are doing. I want to see posturing or high ground. Just get these angles on them, get ready to go in.
right.
I don't want to see anyone sitting on streets really. Like even Doom should be on high ground.
Yeah,
here.
I mean, we got a lot of people hanging around cart when, besides maybe one of the supports, you know, more people could be on off angles. Sombra could start the rotation a bit earlier. Doom could already be up there with the monkey maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit nitpicky here, but still. Hopefully you realize, or you will realize soon, that the Widow is there and completely alone, but we'll see.
New walls.
Is this your bomb?
Yep. So
Very ambitious.
yeah.
Not
I get the idea, but
I mean, I'm all for the offensive bomb, but... Well, you know what? Let me just play a few more seconds just to see what the outcome is. Let's see. Okay. I mean...
They should not, yeah. Well,
it's just too far away, and they have all their... But they have bubbles, they have shield.
so I think we threw the bomb thinking that they were going to hold that corner up there. Yeah, like where the card is right now.
Perhaps. Let me scroll back.
But they also just have like full cooldowns. Like they have both bubbles, they have speed boost. Yeah, right. They're just sped out, right? Like we just need to be aware. Like if they have Lucio, like that's all they have to do, and they have bubbles. So
I really hope you guys are able to get that Widow there. Just again, like I think both DPS are aware of it now, but.
And it seemed like they were already cutting back to try to help the Widow or something. I don't know, which is slightly unlucky, but you guys get the pick.
Go on the Widow. Lucio tried to peel, but now you can kill him too. I mean, Monkey has a nice flank here, so you guys are putting a lot of pressure. I mean, one or both of their supports can die here, and then this should be over as soon as that happens. Nice, kill the Lucio. I'm not
Right,
sure
so
how
like I
you're.
think I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly how Monkey got back there, but it seemed like maybe walked across high ground or something like that. But it's like that's exactly why. We'll see what he exactly. Maybe he just jumped. No, yeah, he's in high ground back there, right? Yeah, like he jumps up there, and right, that's exactly why I want you guys to be playing on high ground, so that you can just like easily get flanked and then like use your cooldowns to get out instead of going in.
Yeah, this is a nice rotation for the monkey.
but yeah,
Just
like-
taking angles and.
Yeah, again, if we're gonna do that kind of a bomb, like we need to be coordinated. I don't think anyone was there to like follow up on that.
So Ana was standing way too far up, right? She should have just kited back there. I guess it was tempting when you see your team kind of deep in their backline, but
Yeah,
looks like I got hit
it's
with
kind
the
of
knife.
unlucky.
There should still be a one fight though, but I'm just.
Should be.
I don't know if that meteor strike was necessary. You rallied too. I mean, maybe rally is fine, but
Yeah, I'm okay with rally because we were down main heals. We want to just like secure it, but and Doom is probably just doing his own thing. So
nice kill on the Zarya, so she's gonna be staggered. Let's see if they try to contest.
we burned 3 ults for none of theirs.
I mean, so they've got some big
you
ults
guys are
coming up,
rolling.
so if they try to touch
Gonna
this, you
touch.
need the EMP.
Good. What are we gonna do to follow up now? Another thing, we have EMP bomb. Why don't we just wait for that?
Yeah. I agree with that. Oh, freeze grab is gonna be devastating.
Yeah, I don't. This is really a hard fight to win because they have so many more ults and big ults too.
And it's like EMP, yes, EMP early, sure. Nano Doom, I also like that, but it's like, who are we going for? Because as soon as that EMP came out, it was just a lot of, I mean, not necessarily just standing around per se, but like there wasn't the focus fire that I think would have been desired.
Did they got that beat off?
I just don't remember.
There was a lot of counterplay from the enemy team. I mean, first of all, they nanoed at the beginning of the fight, like the enemy team did. So
Yeah.
it would have been nice to just EMP. Like, I don't think you even want them to get a single ult off. Just EMP first.
Yeah.
So it's like, you see the Rhine charging, right? It's like, it's go time. You gotta already be... Yeah, I mean, they do a really good job of...
So you want someone on that that corner over
corner,
there? Yeah. And just like the moment you see them rushing you, like that, just be ready to MP like immediately.
Yep,
Like once they hit the
Yeah.
corner, like not even on cart.
yep. Definitely.
But the Lucio's in a really bad spot right now. He's not even thinking about EMP, he's just in the middle, so we should get the hack on him.
You do, but he gets beat off later, I think.
Yeah, he gets it off right after.
So he would be a very
we,
prime target to
we EMP,
focus.
right? Okay, yeah, so it looks like 2 people. Nope, just Diva's focusing it. Monkey
Diva
is
and
pressuring
Sombra has already
backline.
looked away, and the Nano Doom comes in, but I don't think he looks at the Lucio once. Yeah, so he immediately has the back turn to Lucio. Like, we're just not focusing the right people. It's good that you kill the Ana. Okay, that's nice. But Lucio should be next. That should be... Yeah, he gets the beat off. That's... And then
So,
killing that
Nano
Ryan
Doom
would
is
have
just
been
fighting
big.
a Nano Ryan. I feel like that's just not a good target.
Yeah, Lucio would have been preferable.
Ryan needs squishy really, but yeah.
Diva's got to be looking for that grab. I mean, it's obviously it's hard to eat.
You did
but
kill the Ryan though.
I think.
I don't know. They just have so many more
Yeah.
ults at this. But yeah, like that fight, right? We were just fighting reactively. And it's just so hard to win those kind of fights. We should be resetting immediately. Oh, maybe a primal boop. Oh, wait a minute. This is winnable.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought this fight was lost after the end of the last replay.
I mean,
it's
probably
not
should
one.
have been.
Oh, that's a big slam. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Ana
lost
should
now?
not be. I guess I get it. Like, I've definitely been there, but
No.
Ana
So
should-
I mean, I tell everyone I coach, yeah, like just I don't. You should never be on point as Ana. Like unless you're the only person who can touch and need to touch,
yeah.
you should never be on point.
Yeah,
like, ever.
Yeah, I think that's one of those where it's just like you just relax because you just don't think. Like, even if people can come back to point, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a Lucio, it's like not much of a threat. But yeah, I guess because that just gives that Rhine Shatter so much more value. He gets a pick, and then all of a sudden these tanks are not nearly as oppressive because there's no main healer pocketing them, and Brig is, Yeah. It's like you don't have sustain now. Like these tanks can't do any. Yeah, this is. Oh, and now if they push
That's
this,
a really bad fight for you guys, to be honest, because you guys burned 3 really big ults. And yes, they burn all 6, but I don't know. That's tough. That like took a lot of time off your clock too. I mean, it's still winnable though. 2 minutes.
Okay, Sombra's in the back line. You should be getting some full scouting here.
So you guys have EMP bomb here. Let's see if you use that.
So yeah, EMP bomb. They don't have any ults yet, but they're getting close to grab.
Yeah, we just need to farm EMP really quick and then go in immediately. Like, don't take any poke.
I like what the Diva's doing in terms of taking that high ground spot. Monkey
Okay, so
could
we have
also
combo.
be
We
somewhere.
have combo
that can-
now.
Yeah.
Combo right now, it needs to happen so that they can't build ults. 'Cause we know they use all 6.
It looks like Sombra got forced out. Some spy checking probably from the enemy supports.
It's a good
just,
sleep.
Just chill and oh, our Doom's gonna die.
Oh,
It's
no.
just like the timing again. Like Sombra had to TP out, then Doom goes in. It's like it should not be like that, right? Like, oh, are you still gonna go? I'm in.
Yeah, good. This guy's just sitting on it. Okay.
Nice.
Rig, you're in there, my man. Rally. Ryan should die. Save your Ana. Ana's good.
Okay, so this point is capped.
We use 4 ults. I mean that's fine. But they use the 1.
But yeah, it just feels like it's not really 6 people ever
Yeah.
playing as a team, right? It's like even with spam, it's like not like focusing the damage together and not being together. Or with dive, it's like not going in at the same time. Just like this timing stuff really matters. And I think one high level point is just being more patient. Don't rush. Take your time, and you'll probably see a lot of benefit in getting the fight set up correctly.
Yeah, we're doing a great job taking high ground though.
Yeah, definitely that is improving though. So we've got tanks on the high ground. We have Doom. This is good.
You guys are doing it on first point anyway, so it's good to see that you keep doing it. Almost a hack on the Rhine. That's unlucky.
Again, we
you
don't
know
have
what?
access to comms, and I don't know how much they're ult tracking, but I feel like you're
I
not
thought
going to
it
eat
was
every
right.
grab, right? But like I feel like
Yeah.
as a diva, you at least have to keep the Zarya a little bit honest.
Yeah.
You can't
I
drift
agree.
so far. I mean, and you were in a good spot at the beginning of that fight. Actually, I mean, I think this is actually a good high ground to potentially put pressure on her. Even if you go here, it's like you eventually got to flick the DM back a little bit.
So, yeah, I agree. I think Diva should have been a little bit more aware of trying to eat the grab. At least at least pressure the Zarya. But otherwise, I would have liked to see maybe a faster engage because you guys just kind of let them walk into your backline and grab, right? And then you guys went in, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like that's just not how you try to win that fight, really.
Right.
Yeah, I would have just tried to go like both your Winston and your Doom needs to go like super aggressive, right? Because Winston's primal and Doom has ult. Like they survive, but they just need to go aggressive at this point. Like pressure the enemy backline. And like so like I'm fine just wiping if they just grab, like if you know they have grab and just wiping, but we just waste ults. Like we're wasting Doom ult, and we maybe hopefully don't waste Monkey ult, but we might. But yeah, I mean, like maybe they did go in at a good time, but I would have liked to see maybe faster, just more aggressive.
Right. I'm getting called out in chat by Jack and Sam. Do you have the stream open?
Oh, yeah. No.
Sam, this is so HypnoBeam is another colleague at Microsoft, and this is his friend group team. So that's the blue team. I don't know anything about the red team. Yeah. Dude, we're up to we had 3 viewers at one point.
I'll be a viewer.
Do I count as a viewer? I'm not sure. All right, let's keep going though. I mean, this is lost, but
No, we are not playing this VOD.
okay, so you swapped to Widow, nice pick. They have
Huge
a
pick.
ton of ults though, so this is gonna be tough.
Yeah, so we did waste Winston ult, like just as I predicted last fight.
Yeah, waste Winston all, and I just don't love the just kind of Wing in, putting the bubble, and then I mean just start on the high ground. I feel like, and then if you're gonna drop there, put the bubble, and then jump out. I mean, this is not like this just kind of wastes time. It's not you can recover from this kind of error, but it's just like not really doing much. I mean, D.Va was in a position to at least put more. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know if anyone was aware of the fact that Soldier was flanking through Mega because the tanks were on the high ground. So this is probably lost already.
I feel like we should get off dive for this point. Probably because like first fight, right? I said I would like to see a faster engage, but you guys really can't fast engage if you have to use your cooldowns just to get to the high ground, set up for that engage, right?
60 seconds
And so like
remaining.
if the red team is smart, they're just like constantly like, pushing you the moment you try to take high ground.
So
Yeah, so
that's a good point.
I feel like it's just hard properly utilize dive here.
Compositionally, dive is certainly probably the hardest of the three like major styles to pull off. So I mean, I do agree with that. If you are gonna do it, you have to get value out of the ults and also just stage properly and really be smart about the high ground you can control. And I mean, based on the version you guys are playing, your Widow is gonna have to pop off as well. So just just tough. They're down to a minute though. I mean, yeah, I think it's still worth swapping to any like brawl spam. You don't really have that many big ults anyway, so. Okay, Soldier keeps taking the mega flank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of to your point. Dive is just tough to pull off, and it's like the tanks are the only ones that seem to be able to get in, and like everyone else can't even get around this corner, and then obviously Widow has to play in the back, so it's like they can just put so much pressure on you than you can put on them. It feels like.
Yeah, like if they're smart, like they just keep doing that every time. Like, they just keep walking forward around the corner and just like destroying your backline. And then like tanks, the only thing tanks can do is just like try and drop down, but you're not gonna kill anyone like that. Yeah, we just need to switch off dive third point.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest lesson takeaway.
10 seconds remaining.
So you have a rally and primal. You already bombed. They had a lot of ults too, though. He has another shatter. Wow. Yeah, it's looking like this is it. Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, I think you chalked it up well. The better comp on 0.3 for the other team. Just really hard to pull off dive there.
Yeah. Like, the only thing you can do is maybe just like hard commit and just jump to the middle of their team. But that's almost like suicide. They have a Mei and a Ryan and Zarya. Yeah, it's just nothing you can do.
But yeah, I mean, high level points. So Volskaya and Spam just take better control of the map. I mean, change up like the rotations if it's not working so much. Don't just be so reckless and understand what kind of threats the enemy team has. What else? King's Row with the dive stuff. Like, again, be patient, set up the dive properly. Hold on, let me lower some of this volume. It's like blasting through my headphones. But yeah, actually take time to set up the dive properly. Be on the same page. You can't be engaging at different times. And just get more well versed with like rotating around the map, especially against Brawl. Because I mean, the enemy just ran Brawl the whole time, so like you have to be able to deal with their rotations 100%. But I think those were kind of the main points. You have anything else, Aaron? Otherwise, I think I'm just gonna end the stream and then send the VOD over to Hypno.
Yeah, I think that covers most of it. I would say, yeah, just like really like sit down and just like understand what you're trying to achieve as double shield against other types of comps, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like just by doing that, I feel like you guys will like figure out a lot more, or like fix a lot of things. Individual stuff, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe the first thing that comes to mind is just like Arista, be careful with your shield placement, and then I want to see the tank line like just and like once that's fixed, obviously I would like to see the like just synergizing with their shield angles better.
Yep.
I would prefer to just like don't panic if you like don't panic if you like switch off of BAP. Like BAP just does so much for double shield, and yeah, just be careful of like DPS positioning. Like make sure you're like not just standing out there alone. Like make sure you can get out. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, on the micro side, certainly, like, the tank shielding was something that stood out, like you said. Like, Sigma in particular, like, watching out for some of the off-angle threats. I think we can definitely talk about, in terms of, like, micro positioning, a lot of people could be taking high ground a lot more often.
Yeah.
Off angles, especially, like, Kriyash, Sigma, those kind of characters in particular. So definitely be looking to do that. I mean, so I remember Volskaya B that there was a play where the Zen got separated from the team and then trans kind of late, and because of that, you have to use Lamp early. So, yeah, understand where you want to when you want to be with the core versus when you want to be kind of on a flank. And a lot of that just depends on kind of how the enemy team positions and like what kind of ultimates they have online. I mean, speaking of ultimates, just I mean, some of those fights are always going to be chaotic, and maybe it wasn't like the biggest pain point, but just understanding what you're trying to do with them, just having more of a plan. I mean, on the flip side, there were a few times that they did ult proactively, like that Diva bomb, but it was just a bit too ambitious. So I don't think that was really the biggest issue, but certainly those fights where like both teams had like 4 or 5 ults, I think those are the ones where maybe you want to go back and look at. Because I feel like those were the fights that they lost a lot of the time.
Yeah, I feel like they're just you guys probably just aren't tracking ults, maybe.
Yeah, it's totally understandable.
But yeah, on dive, you guys are like on dive. There's a lot more wasted ults. Like on double shield is a little bit better. Yeah, double shield like ults are pretty good. With the exception, maybe we could be a little bit more aggressive with Bongo.
Right.
But yeah, just like start tracking ults, and then yeah, dive. You guys just need to be a little bit more on the same page because a lot of times we're going in and using ults and just like wasting them. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks for sending the VOD over, Hypno. Hopefully commentary was helpful, and I look forward to getting your feedback. So I'm just gonna end the stream there. Thanks.